Hi, everyone. I wanted to offer one more example of world building in which we get a little deeper into the concept of immersion. Immersion is something that means very different things depending on the game, depending on the player, and what the player wants out of the experience. Uh, I can't find any one widely agreed upon definition of immersion, but there are a few factors, a few criteria that are important to achieving it. First, engagement on the part of the player. If the player is engaged in the gameplay, if they find it appealing, then they will immerse themselves in the world of the game. Second, the world needs to have some depth to it. It needs to have some layers. It needs to have some complexity. It needs to reflect real life in that way. And when it comes to reflecting real life, the game world needs to have some verisimilitude. Amy Green uses this word on page 47 when she's talking about The Witcher 3. She says that the depth of that world adds not only to the sense of verisimilitude, but also to the overall sense of immersion. And I think that that's a good word to use because when it comes to immersing yourself in the game world, feeling like you're really there, it needs to be relatable enough, logical enough, it needs to make enough sense, and be connected enough to real life to enable you to suspend your disbelief. You need to see people acting like humans. You need to see them going about their lives, even outside of you. And this is also something that an immersive world does really, really well. The world feels like it exists on its own, and it doesn't necessarily revolve around you or disappear when you're not there. And that's why I wanted to show this as an example of immersive world building. This is Dishonored. This is the very first real mission after we have established ourselves in our base. The main plot of the game is pretty simple. The Empress has been assassinated. You have been framed for the assassination. And you are tasked with A, finding her kidnapped daughter and restoring the daughter to the throne. But B, also restoring your reputation as well. We are playing Corvo, the Empress's former bodyguard who has been framed for her murder. So we can go through this world in one of two ways. We can go through and kill everyone we find, or we can sneak through it. I always prefer to sneak through it and be as non-violent as possible and as non-confrontational as possible. That's sort of the fun of the game for me. The world, as you can see at the docks, we have been dropped off in a world that is falling apart. A plague has swept through Dunwall, and right when we get to the docks, we can sort of see the ravages that the plague has left. Up here,
1, 2, 3, heave!
you see the city guard throwing dead bodies off the bridge. The plague has been extremely deadly.
Good. Keep them coming.
A lot of the population of the city has been wiped out. So we understand immediately that we're going back into a city
3, heave!
of ghosts that is much emptier than we may be used to, and a lot more desolate and scary. The city guard has taken it over and put it under a very military-like lockdown.
Keep them in the boat.
The city guard are not our friends. And because they're not our friends, we're going to take out this guy. We're not going to kill him.
Hey! What is it? I think that last one was moving. What? Yeah, the little one. Not possible. I inspected them myself. Keep working.
Oh, God. Y'all.
Probably ain't moving no more.
Okay, we'll put you over here. Features that make this world immersive are A, it does seem to exist outside of Corvo, your playing character, but B, thinking to a lot of what Mr. B-Tongue says in Choice and Consequence, the video for this week, your choices have a subtle effect on the world.
2, 3, heave!
You can leave unconscious bodies lying around, but if you leave it lying around where the rats are likely to get it, the rats will kill the people that you knocked out, and it will count as a kill on your part. The more people you kill in the course of the game, the darker and scarier and more dangerous the world gets. The more bodies you leave lying around, the more guardsmen are out in different levels.
1, 2, 3, heave!
The more weepers you see in various places. Weepers are plague victims in the last stages of the play, and they'll attack you on sight. They're basically like zombies. The plague has eaten their consciousness.
1, 2, 3, heave!
You also have this handy dandy heart, which directs you to little charms that will help you out, that will give you more powers, but it will also tell you secrets about the world and its people.
2, 3,
The doom of Pandasia has come to the city. The river rushed in when the barrier broke. The whole district went dark. I will be back
Attention
to
Watchers.
rest.
This district is now considered a highly infected area. Residents are to be escorted to adjacent neighborhoods or delivered for immediate deportation to the flooded district. Remain in position until qualified personnel have completed the removal of infected bodies.
Oops.
Sorry, I can't help you. I don't know this area well.
There are plenty of city guardsmen about, but there are also a handful of survivors who are wandering around. Some of them will talk to you, and some of them really don't want to interact with you. The heart will tell you things about them as well.
If only she had a coin for every time she stubbed her toe. There is nothing common about the work she does every day.
Disgusting!
Now the littlest one is sick.
If you use the heart on various people in the world, you'll hear these little tidbits of their lives and what's going on outside of your ability to see.
Family members to the local dead counter. Unreported deaths are a punishable offense.
You can come over here to the main area. This is Clavering Boulevard.
All the others down to the cities.
Oops. Clavering Boulevard was one of the ritzier parts of town. Notice I say used to be one of the ritzier parts of town. Now it is basically abandoned because of this plague, and the city guard has taken it over. You can see their equipment down here. We have a detail. We don't want to interact with them, at least not if we don't want to get into a fight, because Corvo's a wanted man. You're playing someone who used to be a very high status. He used to live in the palace. He used to be a man of great consequence. And now he's being hunted by everyone who he used to have respect from and command over.
Sir, it's my first shift on a wall of light. Are you sure it's safe?
It's safe if you're not an idiot. At the start of your duty watch, the technical officer comes by with a charger. You lay your hand on it, and the wall won't hurt you.
Yeah. I mean, yes, sir.
Then you've got nothing to worry about. But if you ever try to walk through it without touching the charger at the start of your shift, there won't even be a mess to clean up, understand? Don't make me have to explain that to your mother.
So there we get a little explanation as to some of the security measures that they've put out here. We can't walk through the wall of light. There are a lot of different ways to wander through this area.
And there's an inspection fee.
To the void with Bottle Street and to the void with you. Let me out.
Oh, you don't want to talk to us like that. Fact is, Bottle Street is here to take its cut. So reach into your pockets and let's get this done.
You have the ritzy part Clavering Boulevard right over there.
We can't help it.
But around the area, you also have alleys that represent the slums. And that is where you're going to be mostly moving through. You can go low and sort of crawl through the sewers, but you can also go through some of these apartments up here at the top, some of these tenements. We'll help Griff later. I probably won't do it on video, but if you go through these little abandoned apartments, you can see the poverty that used to be here, and also the extent to which the plague devastated the poor who lived out here in these alleys. And you get a lot of sad vignettes like this. Here you see a whole family who was wiped out by the plague. The mother obviously went last because there was no one around here to wrap her up. Over here you have all of her children who died before her. And here, and here on the table you have her journal. It's the 4th month of rain. Morris is sick, and so are the children. I've avoided it thus far, which is good fortune since it's fallen on me to take care for them. The city watch comes and goes, knocking on doors, asking for signs of the plague. Even our neighbors can't be trusted. Earlier, it was difficult to keep the children quiet. Now they sleep most of the time. The flies have set in. Morris won't answer me when I try to talk to him from across the room. Morris is gone. I don't know what I'll do. For now, all my hope is reserved for the children. Young Robert has passed. The star of my sky is gone. Elise stopped breathing in the middle of the night. She was such a headstrong girl, I can hardly believe she was overcome. It's the 4th day of the month of when it is settled in that they are lost to me, all of them. I cannot bring myself to call the dead counter. And the very last entry, I have the fever now. No guards come here anymore. So we get the story of what happened in this apartment far away from the palace. You kind of know that it's been going on, but to actually see it, to actually see the devastation that this plague has caused is, it makes it more real and gives you a sense of the people who inhabit this world, the people that ostensibly you've been serving for all of this time, but may not have necessarily taken the time to get to know. Now that you're in the situation where you're being hunted, where you have been cast out, you've become like them. You've lost all of your status. You've lost all of the state protection that you might have had. It's up to you to take care of yourselves. And that's the situation that this family was in, too. Except unlike Corvo, they had very few means to protect themselves. So right here at the very beginning, we get to see the 2 Dunwalls. We get to see the 2 empires here. Oh, dude.
Garbage.
There's Granny Rags. She is crazy. But like I was saying, here right off the bat, we get to see the 2 Dunwalls that have been existing for quite some time. It existed before the plague happened,
Attention
but
Dunwall citizens. John Clavering Boulevard has been designated a restricted travel area. Any citizens are liable to search or imprisonment at the discretion of the City Watch.
But the plague has really exacerbated the inequalities that had already been festering. The rich have been able to flee the city. The poor
It's crawling all over everything.
The poor are left to deal with the rats and to survive as best they can. And if they can't survive, to wrap up their dead and rot there. Or they can turn to crime. So, this is what I think of when I think of Immersion. A world that is rich, that is multi-layered, a world that obviously existed before we, the player, went into it, that had its own problems that have been festering for a long time, that have its own people with lives that they lived before we got here. This is a world that exists outside of Corvo, our playing character. And it's a world that will continue to exist outside of Corvo, our playing character. And that is good world building that promotes immersion. So, I am going to try to attempt to save Griff, and thank you for watching.